We are losing 25% of our Muslim youth. So says one pay-per-view report from the United States of America, written in 2017 and updated here in 2020. Now, I want to address that spirituous claim, because it is a spirituous claim. First and foremost, the pay-per-view paper that is aforementioned has, in essence, held towards Muslim youths raised in traditional Muslim families inside blue states. This does not include the Muslim families inside red states. This does not include Muslims across the whole of the United States of America. This is a pay-per-view only in blue states. The census is cherry-picked. They have taken away any of the answers that say, I don't know, to benefit their actual statistics. They've taken away any of the statistics that inform them that they are confirmed in their faith and that they have come back. So they've gone out and come back because of liberalistic lifestyles. And they have failed to take into effect propagandable effects that have directly influenced liberal behaviour in the United States of America. America's media engine, the largest superpower on earth, has directly been attacking Islam for 2 decades. No one, absolutely no one, should be surprised that we are losing our youth to Shaitan's engine of destruction. The engine of Shaitan is trying to draw us away. But alhamdulillah, the Americans plan, but Allah plans even better. For every young Muslim we've lost in America, we gain twofold. America has close to nearly 100,000 reverts a year from 2017 onwards. America has increased Islamically by about 300,000 youths, 300,000 reverts in the space of 3 to 5 years. That's insane. Britain isn't as fast as that. Britain is having a revertation of about 96 to 100,000 over a 5-year period, which is slower than our American cousins, but it is still quite an exceptional growth. All in all, Islam is growing around the world at all paces of positions. Let's take the item 2 about Muslims leaving their religion. Muslims leaving Iran are not had a choice. There is no choice in Iran. If you are Muslim, you must remain Muslim. You don't have a freedom of expression, freedom of choice, and these are the absolute reasons. Many of the people that are falling out of the Iranian Shia religion are not, in essence, true believing Muslims. They're cultural Muslims because they don't have the freedom. There is no compulsion in Islam. We all know this as being a basic fact. There is no compulsion in Islam. As such, we Muslims know full well that the false conversion, the false narrative, the police state that Iran represents is not one we should use as an example of a Muslim community. Let's take another example. Let's take the Muslim community specifically in Saudi Arabia, the third item mentioned in the online detritus that Islam is shrinking, Islam is losing its youth. Saudi Arabia, a country where true clerics are locked up, a country where its crown prince allows Halloween inside the lands of our prophet, a country whose prime minister stroke crown prince is probably one of the greatest Muslim munafiqs I have seen in modern time periods. Now, I know apparently we're not allowed to criticise our Muslim leaders, but let me be absolutely clear about this. I criticise all leaders with no regards to who they are. I don't care. I do not live under a caliphate. I do not have my allegiance to a caliph. I am not responsible for these petty kings who have no claims to rights of ownership of these lands inside Muslim world. These emirs, these presidencies, these corrupt leaders, they are sold out to the American dollar. Every single one of them. Every single one of them are bought and paid for by one world power or another. So their opinions should be irrelevant, but not what happens in their lands. And we must speak out about it more and more. Yes, we are losing youth in Saudi Arabia. The reasons we're losing youth in Saudi Arabia, because the crown prince is corrupt and he is engaging in corrupt behaviour. These are things that you can see. You've seen the Halloweens, you've seen the rock concerts, you've seen the detritus that the Crown Prince has allowed to go on and on and on continuously, always being the puppet to Uncle Sam. And we know where that line goes even further, don't we? That the corporations sit behind, don't care about you or me or the spiritualistic hosts. They want slavish consumers, and that is the only thing that the corporate world wants. I, for one, tell you to go fuck yourself. I'd rather die on my Quran and live my life as a good Muslim man. Iran, Saudi Arabia and America should not be used as benchmarks for the loss of Muslim youth, when one of them is super corrupt, the other is a police state, and the third has attacked Islam for 20 years. The next big elephant in the room is the 25% rumoured that we're losing in India. We don't have a pay-per-view to the Indian losses at this point. Again, Prime Minister Modi, again, the Hinduvarian, again, Islam is under massive attack amongst our beautiful Hindu brothers, beautiful Muslim brothers and sisters hiding inside the Hindu lands. India has done everything in its power in recent times to attack our religion. The West is compliant because India is a nice counterbalance towards China. And ignoring our pains is, it's a bit hypocritical talking about freedom, liberty, right to religious freedom and all that. You know what the West rabbits on about time and time and time again, but only when it's convenient for the West. Only when the West benefits from it. It's only religious and socialistic or political freedoms. We know this to be true because the Christians who have suffered inside the Middle East from these dictators, from places like ISIS, unless it benefits Western ideology, they don't talk about it. They can't give a fuck. When Saudi Arabia or UAE or Egypt starts oppressing some of the Christian minorities, America is quiet. Of course they spoke up about ISIS doing it. There is the cynicism. Now, ISIS is evil. Let's not kid ourselves about this. ISIS is evil. I don't even think I need to mention that ISIS is evil, but we're Muslims, we're expected to. Okay, so ISIS is evil, are non-Muslim. Let's just put that to the side. But let's think about that. The actions of Western society are threefold: hegemonical, consumering corporate states, wage slaves, imperialistic. Those are the driving forces of Western society. Whether you are living in France, Britain, Scandinavia, Russia is as equal to those 3 points as the Americans are. They're a failing old power who are trying to recapture their glory. They are no different to the Americans. And into this, you need to realise that we are suffering some form of hemorrhage towards the loss of our youth. But Allah subhanahu will recover these boys and girls when they see that the Western world is a lie. Like I'm here. I am a Western man who has lived that lie, and I have come to the deen of Allah subhanahu. I cannot stress how corrupt Western lifestyle is. Alcohol, nightclubs, poisonous behaviour that goes on, drugs, drink, whoring, it goes on. To the many youth who would see this video, it goes on. Unprotected sex, unwanted children, STDs. These are the normal things that Western society doesn't tell you about how free they are. You're free to get AIDS. You're free to have sexually transmitted diseases. You're free to engage in drugs and drinking. You're free to lose your entire morality. You're free to lose your friends and family going down that black hole. You're free to wake up in a shithole surrounded by dog ends, fag ends, needles, dirty sofas, junked out friends, your boyfriend, girlfriend lying next to you looking half deaf, and you wondering where your 20s have gone. Your family no longer picks up the phone. You're free to do that. But the minute you want to engage in your freedom to express your religious beliefs, now you're a problem. Because morality is what the consumer-driven corporations want it to be. They don't want to be told by ancient prophets how humanity should be led forward. That is why I object. That is why I keep making these videos. And that is why we must stand against this corrupt, unresponsive social corruption of our youth. How to resolve these problems? Well, in my opinion, I would take the opportunity to resolve these problems by refusing those liberal clerics who go online and say that yes, you can be gay and Muslim. For the detritus that comes on the various talk shows that peddle Islamic bullshit. Learn your deen of Allah subhanahu from knowledgeable scholars. Go out of your way to look for traditional scholars. And this will keep you on the straight and narrow. And I remind you, brothers and sisters, of a very key conversation. We are fast approaching the time when holding on to your deen would be like holding a burning rock. And I cannot stress enough that we are approaching that time now. If you like my video, please like, subscribe, and as always, please leave comments, because it does help build the algorithm. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu, and I hope you all have a lovely Monday.